What's up, fellow travelers? Welcome to Traversing the Stars. I am JD Ross, broadcasting from the mothership. Please welcome my special guest, actor Harrison Zhu. Harrison, welcome to the
Hello.
show.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. Hey, I noticed you did the
Yeah,
little
I was
cloaking
because
thing there.
you said mothership, so I was like, all right.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. We're off to a great start. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're an actor. So tell everybody at home a little bit about your journey through acting and how where you're at with everything with that.
Yeah, I've been acting for a little over 10 years.
Mhm.
I started in Vancouver near the tail end of high school, and I've been in LA now for 9.5 years.
Nice.
I started off mostly doing film, TV, and then over the last year and a half, I've gone into a lot of voiceover work. But I kind of split my time between both right now.
Yeah. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer like the actual, like the in-person stuff or the voiceover stuff?
I personally enjoy acting across from someone, like in person, because you get to bounce ideas off each other. You get to actually like react off the other person.
It's like a real team collaboration vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Like voiceover, I love it.
Yeah.
There's so many different types of voiceover, but a lot of the voiceover you do ends up being in a booth by yourself.
Yeah.
So
kind of isolating.
Yeah, it's very isolating, but it's cool when you see the final product come together and everyone's voices come together at the end. But yeah, like in terms of like acting, I would say I really do enjoy having someone to play off of.
Nice. Yeah. Now I noticed one of the credits that you have, it really got me excited. I think it was only a small part, but still that show V, the one they redid like way back in I think it was like 2009. I thought that was the coolest shit ever, man. Like the only thing that I had an issue with was how it ended.
Oh yeah. That was actually my very first TV credit. I was, I think 15 or 16 at the time. And I don't know if you got to see the clip, but essentially I just die in it and it's awesome. Like I take an Alka-Seltzer pill and like I start like foaming at the mouth and I die.
That was one of the ones where like the queen was basically like testing loyalty or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. And like I don't really remember the full context, but yeah, it was like a really fun dying scene. But I do remember the series. I watched the whole thing, and I never watched like the original V, but the reboot I really did enjoy.
I loved it. I was really disappointed because I feel like they pulled the trigger early on it. Like I feel like it was like they just blissed everybody, and then it was like, yeah, we're done. And it was it was a little bit lackluster, I thought.
Well, I don't know if this is public knowledge. Maybe it is. If it isn't, you can scratch this from the podcast later. But I auditioned for a V reboot like 3 years ago.
Ooh, another
on
one.
ABC. Yeah, it was like another reboot, and I don't think it didn't get picked up, obviously.
Right.
It was like in the talks of like coming back because I think there was so much excitement around like and anger around the cancellation of it that they were like, all right, we got to bring it back. Like there's so many people that want to see it again. So unfortunately, I don't think it got picked up, or I don't know where it's at. Maybe they're redeveloping it, but that might be sometime in the future.
Hopefully we'll see that down the road. So that'd be I would love to see, because I feel like they were off to a really good start with it, and the cast was great, and it was just it seemed really well put together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So you never got to see the original. So I feel like I've only seen bits and pieces of it. Like I saw like one of the like arrival scenes or something, but that was about it for that.
Yeah, I saw like some YouTube clips. Obviously, like
doing
VFX has improved drastically years since, but like I mean, like it's still really cool.
So one of the more recent things that you're doing, so I've only got to see a little bit of it, so don't give me any spoilers, but the new Netflix series All of Us Are Dead, how has that been?
It's been awesome. So as I mentioned, I started my voiceover journey a year and a half ago, and it was something that I really started at the beginning of the pandemic, because between like March and May of 2020, nothing was shooting. Right. Like all of Hollywood shut down, and I was like, like
got to do something.
Yeah, exactly. And like voiceover kept going because you could do it from home, remote.
Right. That's how podcasts happen too. Like I started a podcast in the middle of all that.
Oh, did you start it at the beginning of the pandemic too?
It was like right in the middle. Like it was actually a different podcast. Like the first one I did, and then they kind of just morphed into this one. But so it was like in the middle of it. Me and my best friend were just like, dude, we gotta do something. And I was like, podcast. We gotta do a podcast, and it just sort of snowballed from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So like, I started doing a bunch of voiceover stuff, and then I realized really quickly that there was such a big industry for dubbing like international content,
Yeah.
especially like 2 years ago. There's like a huge influx of content from Korea, especially from Netflix.
Yeah, and it's like really good stuff too.
Oh, it's awesome. Like
Yeah.
obviously everyone knows Squid Game, but like
Train to Busan, #Alive.
Oh yeah, all of that is incredible.
Yeah.
And I've gotten the lucky opportunity to work on a lot of them. And it's culminated like recently in All of Us Are Dead, which is, you know, luckily like a lot of people love it. And you know, I'm actually just watching it right now for the first time. Like I watched the scenes that I dubbed.
Right.
And yeah, like I dubbed the lead in it, Chung-san, but he's not in like every scene, but he's in a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like you only see the scenes you're in. So now I'm watching back, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, like who this person is.
Or, so you were like dubbing stuff that was like kind of totally out of context for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, like how it works with dubbing is you do the audition, it's like a code name, you don't know what it is, you just get your set of like few lines, you do it, and then you hear back like 4 months later that you booked it, and then you show up and you often or not, like more times than not, see it for the first time. So you watch it once, they give you a little bit of context of who your character is, and like in that 2-minute span you got to figure out, all right, like what's this character's personality, backstory, what do they sound like, and then you watch it once, and then the second time it's almost like karaoke because you get the lines like right below and you gotta like read it, but you just do it. It's like some of the craziest acting work I've done recently, and I think it's actually like I really do admire the people like that are really like experts at dubbing, because it's a really hard skill to pick up. Because the first few times I did dubbing, I did like this Thai show called The Stranded, and I did this Korean show called Extracurricular, and at first like it was a pretty big learning curve, because it's like you got to watch their mouths, their intonations, plus the dialogue. It's a lot.
And also stay out of your head enough to like actually like give the character like what he's trying to be.
Like at the end of the day, like you gotta not only
you're still acting,
it's still acting at the end of the day. Like like, you know, you're trying to honor the choices of the character, but you still gotta do it, but like do it in time.
So like it's just like an extra element to it.
So it's like a lot of like mental brain work, but no, it's been a lot of fun. And like All of Us Are Dead is probably my biggest one yet. A lot of people are actually comparing it to another one that I did last year called Sweet Home, where I played one of the leads in that too, and that one's about like monsters and like, a building, so it's like similar to like zombies in high school. And Korea's like awesome with anything like zombies, monsters, like they always kill it.
Korea is rolling out some of the best horror like of late. I'm loving it. And like it's funny because like in the trailer they're also like very oh god, what's the word I'm thinking of, like the like they reference Train to Busan in All of Us Are Dead in the trailer too. So it's like, you know, like they know, like, you know, it's like part of that world that they're in, which is cool. Now what do you say, because like there's a lot of people that like when it comes to like a Korean film or a foreign film, they don't like the dubbing part. I can't, like me personally, I can do it like with reading the subtitles, but I prefer the dubbing, so I appreciate it. But like what do you say to like to those people that are like, you know, the purists, I guess?
I like, I want to say I get it. Like, as a consumer myself, whenever I can, I personally don't listen to this Netflix, but I personally I like listening to it in the original language, because you know, like the actors put in a lot of work into it, and it's probably, I mean, it is the closest to what it's supposed to be, because that is what it is. And dubbing can only get you so close, because like, yes, you can match you know, all the intentions of the other actor, timing, but sometimes like when things are translated, they lose some of the context, or the jokes land differently. But I think there's a place for both, because if you're in like a tuned in environment, like at a movie theater, like, you know, Parasite, for example, like I think everyone should watch that subbed, because like you're in an environment where like that's all you're focusing on. But I think especially for Netflix content where, you know,
Mhm.
a lot of people are like multitasking while
Yeah,
watching content,
I
or
know I
like,
am.
yeah, exactly. Or like you're not like, you know, it's been a long day of work and like you don't want to like
Yeah,
concentrate on like reading subtitles. Like
but
dubs are
you
awesome.
want the story, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I think like, you know, dubbing is such an awesome art and there's so many great people involved in it. And I
yeah,
think like watching it dubbed gets you like mostly there. Like, I don't
right,
think it's ever going to be 100%, but I think you could still, you know,
yeah,
really enjoy a series and not have to pay as much attention, or like
yeah.
focus as much energy on it.
Yeah, and be able to consume it in a more kind of light way, even if it is more kind of hardcore content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. So are you excited about the idea of because it seems like you're doing like a good bit of horror. So I mean, are you a
Yeah.
fan of horror, or are you excited to
Uh,
do more horror, or
yeah, you know what's funny? So like, uh, before I got into voiceover,
Mhm.
um, I worked a lot of corporate jobs in film marketing.
Mhm.
And one of the clients I did a lot of work on marketing their films was Blumhouse.
Nice.
So I specifically worked for BH Tilt, if you're
Mhm.
familiar with BH Tilt.
No, I don't
Like,
know that one.
so it's Blumhouse Tilt. It's like the arm of Blumhouse
Uh-huh.
that put out films in theaters that Universal didn't want. So
Okay.
like we
Okay.
worked on movies like The Darkness, Incarnate, The Belko Experiment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Belko, I think, was probably the biggest one of those.
yeah, Belko was awesome. Like that was probably my favorite campaign to work on. So
Yeah.
like in terms of horror, like I used to, before working on Blumhouse stuff, I used to be like way too scared to watch horror movies, to
Really?
be honest. But like after working on Blumhouse and especially seeing how like horror's evolved so much with like all of Jordan Peele stuff,
Yeah,
um, like I think horror is such an awesome medium for like not only like entertaining content, but social commentary and
definitely.
um yeah, nowadays like horror is so much more than just like slasher gore,
Yeah.
whatever. Like there's so much variety in horror and everyone's so good in it. Like it's just like horror is so much different than it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. And I've also I feel like everybody I've talked to that's involved in horror, it's like the nicest people you've ever met. Like Freddy Krueger,
Yeah,
I've heard nothing but good things about that guy.
yeah, absolutely. And like I would love to be in a horror movie one day,
Yeah.
like a true like horror franchise, like even if I
Yeah.
just get killed or whatever. Like sounds super fun. But like from a voiceover standpoint, like I've done maybe like 4 horror series now,
Yeah.
and they're fun but very taxing because like for like All of Us Are Dead, for example,
Yeah.
I'm like fighting zombies or running away from zombies a lot,
Yeah.
and like I have to, you know, be in that like
That mindset.
that mindset of like I'm screaming, I'm like there's a lot of efforts of like hitting zombies, running away from
Yeah.
zombies, and like you got to match it with the timing too.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of stress vocally to just be like yelling the whole time.
Yeah. Now, did you watch any other zombie movies in preparation for it?
um, I didn't watch any specifically in preparation for this. I've
Yeah.
seen like over the course of my life like a ton of zombie content.
It's
Like
hard to escape. Yeah.
yeah, I mean like I am I'm like fully caught up now on The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
which I like started way back when, and like I'll save my comments on that show. But
After Negan showed up, it just totally lost its luster
yeah,
for me.
okay, cool. I'm glad I'm allowed to say that on
Yeah,
this
no, you can
podcast.
absolutely say that because
Okay.
it just became this weird pissing contest with him and Rick, and then it was just like,
Yeah,
what are we doing? Like, there's a part where they could have shot him and they just didn't. It's like, what's happening?
I
What are we
know.
doing here?
Yeah, it was like after Glenn died, he was like my favorite
Glenn
character,
was awesome. Yeah,
and then like now like that Rick's been gone for a while, and then like random characters will disappear for extended periods of time, and it's
yeah,
like the same type of villains and storylines, and I'm like, why is Negan still around? I'm confused.
yeah,
But I'm just like I've committed 11 years of my life to the show. Like I gotta
yeah,
finish it. So like yeah, like that. But like obviously like that's like a much different type of zombie prototype than,
yeah.
you know, Korean zombies like Train to Busan or um what's that other one that's really famous? Um
I know hashtag alive because I remember that came out. Did that come out? That didn't come out last year, or was it the year
oh,
before?
it might have been last year or a year and a half ago. It
Yeah,
was like during the pandemic, I remember. But yeah, that was great. And then um I like Peninsula was okay. I know it's not zombies, but like kind of same like tone, but like Snowpiercer, like that was awesome.
Yeah. End of the world, just
yeah. But yeah, like Zombieland's also one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh yeah. What did you think of the second one though?
It was okay.
It didn't quite hold up, but it was still good. But the first one was by far. I mean,
the first one was so like unexpected and like it was so funny, and like Woody Harrelson's one of my favorite actors.
And he was perfect for that role.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And I read somewhere that like it was the only movie that he cried at the end of because it was over. Like he hugged hugged everybody. It was just like, I'm gonna miss you guys. Like he had like apparently had the best time on that set. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I feel like every like 10 years or so, there's like a new zombie movie that just freshens the whole thing up, or a series of them. And I think Korea is like the ones just like they're just knocking them out of the park right now.
Yeah, like I wonder what that next like iteration of zombies is, because like you have like the classic, like The Walking Dead, like the slow dead zombies.
Yeah, the Romero
like, whatever.
Style,
yeah, and then you have like the Korean ones that are super fast, like World War Z, where they're like in like super speed, and then like
I'm dead if that happens. Like I'm dead if that happens.
So yeah, no, I'm curious like what that next iteration of zombies looks like.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So what's the future hold for you? What's your ultimate goal? Like ultimately, what are you wanting to accomplish in your acting career?
That's a good question.
I always ask something like that. I always got to get deep.
Yeah. I mean, as with most actors in LA, it's like consistent work obviously would be great. Right. Just being on a series or whatnot. I think like long term it'd be really awesome to be like the lead of a TV series that I personally really enjoy, like dark comedy. Especially like in like the, I don't know, like a couple of my favorite shows are like Barry or The Boys. Just like stuff that's like subverts like typical tropes of various genres.
Makes fun of stuff.
And like doesn't take itself too seriously. And something like that would be really awesome to be on for like an extended period of time.
Nice.
Yeah. Also like like live action, that would be a goal. Like animation, like I've done quite a few dubbing and animation gigs over the last year and a half. With animation though, it's like it takes forever to come out after you actually do it, because they got to like animate the whole thing, so I can't really talk about those yet, but
any hints really any hints you can give us, or
I mean
is the mouse involved? I'll ask that.
No mouse.
Okay, the mouse is not
more adult.
Okay, cool.
Which is fun, but like going off like The Boys saying, like Invincible was awesome. And I would love to be able to just do an animated show where because like animation you could get away with more, I feel like, especially like the darker like more gory stuff. So I feel like it'd be really fun, because like I mentioned, in dubbing and some animation stuff for like the smaller roles, you do it in isolation in a booth. But it'd be really awesome to then be able to do animation with other people in a room, just improv, and like like I don't know, like it'd be so cool to be with like Justin Roiland on like Rick and Morty and just like shooting a shit with him. Like that would be awesome,
dude. How much fun would that be? Like seriously, that would be the most ridiculous amount of fun ever.
I know. Like you can't not like have fun with if he's like, I don't know, he's probably like drunk on in the booth, like doing whatever, and you're like, okay, I guess I can do whatever I want.
That's one of those shows that I just throw on every now and then, just like as background stuff, just like throw it back on, just restart it and watch the whole thing through.
Yep.
I love it. All right, so everybody needs to check out All of Us Are Dead. Where can everybody find you? What else you got going on, and where can everybody find you online if you want them to?
My Instagram is last name first name Zoo Harrison, XUHARRISON. Also on Twitter, Harrison _XU. I haven't used Twitter much until recently.
I'm the
but
same. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just realizing like there's a huge voiceover community on Twitter, and like I'm trying to be a little bit more a part of that. But yeah, upcoming stuff, like I'm working on a dub right now for a different major streaming service.
Nice.
I got a couple other ones coming up next month as well, for Netflix, and then I am going to be on a Nickelodeon show next week called Warped, which is about like, it's like Big Bang Theory for kids.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's fun. But yeah, just, chugging away, trying to, continue to work.
I love it, dude. Well, I can't wait to see you in more stuff, dude.
Cool, thank you. And yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, thanks for being here. So yeah, like I said, everybody at home, check all that out. And Harrison, thanks for being here, dude.